Okay, Choro-Q and Nissan Skyline fans, this is a special one for me. Tomica Limited Vintage has a 1/64 scale version of this, but it's so out of print, it's so ridiculously expensive, I will never buy it. I don't understand why they don't just resell old liveries. Forget the collectors. Make money. That's the purpose of a business, right? They should just release that thing every year because people will buy it. Anyways, that's a different rant. Okay, so I have the cartoon version of it. And yes, this was expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. You can look it up online, and you will say I'm crazy to buy this. But I've done a lot crazier stuff in my life, so it doesn't even matter, right? Alright, so apparently someone taped this, put some crazy plastic on this thing to protect it, probably because it was so expensive. I don't think this cellophane comes on the real ones. At least the other ChoroQ Zeros I've opened don't have this. Okay, sorry. So you can catch a glimpse of this screen here as I deal with this wrapper, learn a little bit about the car. For me, it's one of the most iconic Japanese cars, and I'm sure if anyone's from any of these viewers are from Japan, maybe you could chime in. Is this the Legend? Is this the like Cobra or the GT40 of Japan? Okay, anyways. So let's see here. This is a ChoroQ Zero, which is a high grade of ChoroQ. It's the only grade of ChoroQ sold today in 2021. And this is the very first one, Z01A. So that's what I think makes it special, beyond the fact that it's a pretty cool car. Alright, so let's get this out here. I like the packaging. You can see three sides of the product, but it's not such big packaging that you feel guilty throwing it away. Ah, boy. About this tape here. Okay, you'll see this thing's pretty old. So the tires have left a mark on this cardboard, and you can see this film on the tires. In fact, let me get rid of this. So look at this oily residue. I think that's coming from the tires themselves. Hold on here. Let me get a new angle. So I'm gonna get this cloth here and wipe all this oil off. That's kind of gross. Make sure I don't get any on the body. It might mess up the paint. Alright, so be mindful of that. If you buy an old Choro-Q, it might actually have some weird oily residue from the making of this synthetic rubber. And it could naturally probably tear paint off the car, so. Okay, it's really sticky. It feels like tar, you know? Alright, well, I think I got, nope, this stuff is crazy. It's like molasses. Alright, well, hopefully that's good. I'll throw that little rag out. Let's take a look here at these details here. Well, you know, let's compare it to the photos, because otherwise I'll probably forget. I got the big chin spoiler. The wheels obviously are not accurate, but I'll have a solution to that coming up. Alright, and then here's the rear view. It's the best rear view I could find, at least. Okay. The thing shows short. It falls off my fingers really easily. Okay, so naturally, you know, being a cartoonized car, it's, you know, not realistic, but it's nice to see that a lot of the graphics are similar. Obviously, they couldn't get all the graphics on there, because look how wide the door is. So there are no door graphics. But they at least got the graphic back there and on the wing. And then, well, that actually doesn't match. It just says Dunlop on that photograph, and something belongs there. Okay, well. Alright, so the chin spoiler here does have Tomica there. And GTR works. These vents have a little dimensionality to them, but no extra paint. number 11, and then Hasemi is the name of the driver that drove this, and he owns this race team called Hasemi Racing, so he's quite an icon in Japanese racing. Some silver paint going around the window trim, so that looks good, matches the car. I don't know if, see, I think the windows are black, but that's fooled me before. No, they're just really smoked to hide the spring motor. You can see the gears of the motor there. Okay, going to the bottom here, the production, when was this thing made? It says 2011, the 8th month of 2011. So yeah, it's 10 years old now. You can see that residue, it's still leaching out. Weird. Okay, this is a first for me. I've never seen a Choro-Q with 2 screws. Usually it's 1 screw up front and like a hook and tab system in the back. But you'll see what they did. They just left this open like the real car. So, you know, I guess that's actually more realistic. Which is funny to say about a cartoon. Okay, nicely printed on lights here. You know, orange, white, this box, and then the red in it. Or I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't paint the red. Maybe they just painted the outline because the body's already red. And amazingly, these wing struts aren't actually very wide. You would think they'd be wider being a toy. But they're thinner than like Hot Wheels, so that's pretty good. Alright, so yeah, it's just funny to see a wide body foreshortened vehicle like this. I think it's cool. Okay, so let's do a 3D wheel swap here. I knew immediately after ordering this. Hold on, let me back out here. I knew immediately after ordering this that this is going to be a special Choro-Q. So I went and looked at photographs of the wheels that you just saw on those I compared to, and I went and 3D printed my own. And then I actually bought a pair of, a set of 3D printed wheels from someone else because I don't know where the person gets the tires from. The rear tires are much larger than the front tires. So I actually destroyed that expensive set of 3D wheels just so I can make new 3D wheels for this. Alright, there's 2 little washers down there to help keep the screws trapped, but the screws still fell out. 11 years of rust right there on the axle. Pretty thick axle, really. Much thicker than Hot Wheels. I believe they're 1.3 millimeters. Okay, so I have a 3D printed motor case that takes up this space here of the original motor. Okay, so now I can put this back together. But I'm going to use a hand screwdriver because that electric screwdriver is quite powerful. I don't want to strip the threads out. Let's get this back one in there. Okay, so here are the wheels. This is the rear one, it's massive. And I actually printed this twice. Before I didn't have vents, I just had this shape. But then I decided I like this car so much that I would actually make functional vents just like the real car. So those little diamonds have a vent on the verticals because in the cartoon world it needs to do that. This is the wrong side. Yeah, that's the right side. Alright, they're directional to the vehicle. So this is the front one. That's the wrong side again. That is the correct side. And this gray putty is called Patafix Pro. It's really good for really anything. I think it's meant to hang like things on the wall without leaving a mark. So it's rated for 3 kilos. So it's plenty strong for this. But the key thing is, it allows you to steer the vehicle if you want, set camber if you want, and then make adjustments, and it never hardens. So you can reuse it again and again. Alright, so there we go. We've got some well, you know what, maybe the race car shouldn't have so much camber. It is a race car. Okay, so yeah, so what I don't know is these tires here. Where did these tires come from? I had to bet you know, I had to buy these from someone else. If I could just find these tires myself, I would just buy a bunch of them and then print my own wheel sets. Okay. Yeah, that looks cool to me. Little side exhaust there, they mentioned before. Okay, let's compare it to a couple of the cars here. So here we have it spinning next to the UCC Coffee version of this car, although it's number 25, the one that Paul Newman drove. And then this is a Kyosho, and it's a KDR30 of some sort. I think the license plate says RS, so it's an RS Turbo, I think, or RSX. I don't recall for sure. Anyways, I've done reviews of these models if you want to search my history. Alright, so let's do the top view. So if I had to guess, you know, this thing is foreshortened maybe 30-40% over the regular UCC Coffee one. It's actually similar in width. Alright. Let's compare it to a couple other Choro-Qs. We have this Hakosoka here, and I think all of these have different wheels actually. That one's running the black Watanabe F8s. And then this Ken Mary one just has some repainted Hot Wheels Real Riders on it. And I have it steering with the putty there. And then let's see, this next one is an R33 from Le Mans. And it's got some white racing wheels, which I can't recall what they are. And then this last one is an R34 with some Volk Racing raised TE37 wheels on it. Okay. So with the ChoroQs, they're all pretty much the same size. You know, that's one of the beauties of making things cartoons. So, well, I guess, you know, this Hasemi racing one is longer because of that chin lip. It's so long, right, compared to the other ones. So, okay, so those are some iconic Skylines now in cartoon form. I'm really happy to have them. So let's let this guy spin on its own. So this is an icon of automotive history for me, in a cartoon form. It's so weird, these Choro-Qs, but I like them. I think they're cool. Yeah, this was still cheaper than the TLV version. That's why I got it. So in fact, the way this looks now, I think I actually prefer this over the TLV one. Because TLVs, if they're trying to be realistic, they're actually not very good at doing it compared to, say, Inno 64. So, but if they're trying to make a cartoon, they are very good at it. This is all made by the same parent company, Tomica, right? So, Tomica's really good at making cartoon cars, apparently. They need to improve on their realistic-looking cars, though. They're definitely falling behind the rest of the industry. Alright guys, well thanks for watching again. Until the next ChoroQ comes in, I'll see ya.